Let's do some blocks. You can't sleep.
I can't, man.
You don't like patterns on clothing.
I fucking hate it.
Can't touch my neck.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Hi, everybody. It's me, Neal Brennan. This is the Blocks podcast where we talk about what's wrong with people and then we heal the earth. And it's pretty great. People love it. My guest today is a guy who I secretly held a grudge against, which we'll talk about.
Oh, man. That's your block.
You get that. Trust me. That's one of my main blocks. I held a grudge against you for it's. He was heavily featured on Chelsea lately and the Tonight Show.
So happy to be in New York. This is great.
And then he started getting his specials on Netflix. He pretends it was a hardship. It's just a pass, and then they pick it up. And
I had all the cameras in the building. I had the director, I had the producers all in the building. We're ready to shoot, and we get a phone call from Netflix, and they were like, "Hey, we heard you're about to shoot the special. We just want you to know we really don't want it."
he acts like he fucking was climbing up mountains to get on Netflix. It's 3 phone calls.
For you. For you, white man.
No, fuck
for
you.
For you, white man.
No, please, you got past it. It wasn't. You act like, and then they said never.
They came
here's
his block.
And punched me in the
block
face.
You got.
I get bad intros. That's my block. It's Joe Coy, everybody.
Thank you.
A round of applause. Here's my grudge against. Here it will get. You'll like this story because it's all right. So this is probably 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
I was doing Fallon and I wanted to work out my set.
Yeah.
And I saw at the Improv you were doing like a headlining gig, and I
was Laugh Factory. It was Laugh Factory.
No, it was at the Improv.
It was.
Yeah. And
no.
And you wouldn't let me do 5 minutes for you.
You can't say that.
It's what happened. So then I was like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Not even a hard fuck you, just like a kind of a fuck you.
Yeah.
And I probably held that grudge 5 years.
Nope.
Then
longer.
I listened. I was on satellite radio.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to one of your bits. And I was like, this fucking guy's funny.
Oh.
I can only grudge. So even I can only grudge so hard.
Oh.
If somebody's funny, it's kind of like, not all is forgiven, but it forgives a lot, which is most comedians' whole life plan, which is like, I'm an asshole, but I'll be funny.
Yeah.
You're going to hate me. I'll get you with the funny.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy. I'm not even a little surprised by your popularity on Netflix, and now you do arenas and have for 5 years. So good job, Joe. Congratulations.
Okay, I'm going to hug you.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. You too, buddy. You're great.
See,
You're fucking great.
Back.
I love you.
Yeah.
That
means a lot. You know what I mean? Coming from you, and I'm glad that's fair. And I'd love to explain myself.
Go.
Because 2008, I just moved here, so getting stage time was so hard. I was working in 2008. I was working 3 jobs, by the way. I just had my son.
Great.
You know what I mean? And then I'm working at Nordstrom Rack, Borders Books, and I'm cleaning yachts at the Marina Del Rey. All together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
what do you
I'm
make
not getting
to clean a yacht?
That was the one that was paying the most, and they would pay me like I think $15 an hour, but it was only for like 4 hours. You go out at 6 o'clock at night, and you get back by 11. You know what I mean?
You do it by yourself?
No, there was a whole staff, and you clean. It's like they rent them out for parties, private parties, for like 4 hours, 5 hours at the most. And literally, I would just race to the Laugh Factory or the Improv if I had time. If they gave me stage time, I'm racing to get there. And I'm wearing my outfits, you know what I mean? Or if I have some crappy clothes in the
You wear
the trunk.
A captain's hat when I remember.
I had a captain's hat. So you should have known that I had some type of authority.
This guy's doing something.
Yeah, you should have understood. But it was just like, bro, I haven't even seen my son. You know what I mean?
No, it wasn't. It was 2009, I'm remembering now. And it was your manager was like, no, they're not. It was like an industry showcase. And they were like, they're not going to wait around all night. Maybe it was you, maybe it was him.
Yeah.
It was one of these things where we'd met before and you were very complimentary. And I was like, you fucking guy. So again, all is forgiven because it was like, I totally, I don't like fucking people bumping me.
Yeah.
And I was bumping you for 5 minutes, but it's still like a pain in the ass. So
but you also understand, and you got to tell everybody, your listeners, in especially around that time, 2009. I don't want to tell you who the big names were at that time, but they were consistently bumping people. And when they would bump them, it would be 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
And then you came into the scene from the East Coast.
I was clear that I was doing a Fallon set.
And a lot of them were clear. A lot of them were clear.
You got burnt on that on that explanation
I got
before?
burnt on that a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say his name, but there was one that was very consistently bumping me.
Yeah.
And just 10 minutes, Joe. And I'm all right. And that's the 10 o'clock show. And here I am going up at 1:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
No,
but I'm not complaining because I just want my stage time.
You're just not going to let it happen again.
Yeah.
Don't complain. Just take action. Don't get mad. Get even at somebody else for what did to you.
I didn't say that.
I'm going to bleep it.
That.
I am going to bleep it. All right. So I don't know. I know that you were married. Most of what I know from you, I know of you, I know from your act. So I know you're married. I know you have at least one kid.
One kid, yeah.
And I know that you have sleep apnea.
Bad.
And your mom cannot say Joseph.
Yeah.
She says Joseph.
Yeah.
Which I, again, don't have a Filipino mom.
Yeah.
But I heard
you have
the
a mom.
bit. I have a mom. That's right. But I heard the bit and I was like, not Filipino. I know this is funny.
Yeah.
It was just like automatically funny. And I remember hearing you on Marin talking about having some mental illness in your family.
Yeah.
And that sounded excruciating.
Yeah.
Hell.
And hell is not even like the best description. It was living hell.
What to give the people some background.
Imagine having this whole room with
specifically
eggs.
You had a brother who was mentally ill.
Yeah. And just eggs. And they tell you don't crack one. Now go walk. And I know that's so that's it was just me like, what's gonna happen today?
Older brother, younger brother.
Are the cops coming? Is dad gonna get punched?
Older?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, then he's got that older brother authority and
and
I don't
even think that had anything to play with it. He was just
the diagnosis was
it would on a dime, bro. On a dime, you could have a conversation like this, and I'm telling you, my brother is so fucking funny, man.
Yeah,
he is so funny. Like the humor in our family is just it's beautiful, you know. And like all of us are just so funny. We get it. We love to laugh. And my brother is just that guy. When you hear my brother laugh, it's so infectious because it's one of those gut laughs that come from the deep belly. And then boom, it's like that. And now he's looking at you, like looking through you. And now he's talking about some spy investigation that he's doing. Yeah. And no, he's getting ready to do some spy work in Russia. And, you know, just be calm. Don't answer the phone. And it's just like, damn, I had my brother for a second. You know what I mean?
Would it be 50-50? Would it be like throughout the day or would it be mostly?
No, it'd be nonstop. It would just be nonstop. Yeah.
So occasionally you get glimpses, but as mostly
you would get a glimpse that
illness.
He would open that window and just say hi real quick and then boom, close that window and then.
And what was the diagnosis?
You know, for years, I you got to remember.
Back then it was just crazy. Like in the 80s and 90s, that's what it was.
And there was no such thing as therapy, by the way.
Yeah.
It was just medication. It's like, oh, here's the bills.
Yes.
Which were making them more crazy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I hate using the word crazy. And I don't want people to send letters in or anything like that. My brother is a beautiful guy. He's disabled mentally. And but it just and people need to understand there's a time, just like you said, there's a time. Like we were in the 80s and 70s, man. That's what they were calling him. He's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put him in the mental institute. Here, let's give him some pills. Here, this will calm him down. This will numb his brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my brother's like, what, 16, 17? Let's numb his brain with some more stuff. And and what happens is get a kid to take his vitamins every day. Now you want him to take medication every day?
Yeah.
He ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Boom. It's like that.
How much older was he?
My brother is 8 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like little. He's bigger than you.
Yeah. When his first episode, the one that was really bad, was in Illinois. And I still remember it to this day. You know what I mean? I remember him screaming. I remember them putting me in my mom's room, in my mom and dad's room. I remember the cops coming. I remember all that. And I mean, I was literally he must have been 12, 13. I was probably 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember it vividly, Neal.
In what way?
Like just burnt. Like I remember the yell. I remember him screaming. I remember my mom talking to him.
And before that, he had been like relatively stable?
Yeah, I knew he was doing weed. I knew he was rolling joints. And that's another memory that's burnt in my brain because I feel so guilty about it. But I remember him rolling joints and putting it in a shoebox and hiding it in his closet. And I remember him saying, don't say anything to mom and dad. And, and it kills me because I went and got one of these DNA things, whatever it's called. I went to one of those homeopathic doctors, and they gave me one of those DNA things where they could read your chart.
Yeah.
And this kills me every time when I tell it. But she was going through it, and I'm in doubt. I'm like, what are you looking at? You're not going to figure me out by looking at these numbers. So I was already like not wanting to do this. I'm just trying to find some kind of alternative. And she goes, "Do you smoke weed?" And I go occasionally, if it's around. I don't buy it, you know what I mean? But if it's around and people are talking, I'll do it. And she goes, "You might want to stop." She goes, "You see this right here? This is a schizophrenia gene. And it feeds off of THC. Like it thrives off of it. It blows up if you take this. So you might want to stop." And I started crying. I'm surprised I'm not crying right now.
This is recently?
Yeah, well, no, it was like 5 years ago. Yeah. It was like 5 years. But I mean, Neal, bro, I doubled over. I started bawling because immediately, boom, don't tell mom. And boom, you know what I mean? Boom. Yeah. And now I'm like, it's my fault. You know what I mean? It's my fault. I should have said something. Yeah. Because if they would have taken that away, this wouldn't, you know what I mean? This would have never happened, And I started bawling. I called everyone in my family. I told my son, like, please don't. Yeah. Like, we have it. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're crazy, but
your brain wants to be crazy.
Your brain is triggered and wired and ready. Yeah. It just needs to be plugged in. Yeah. And so that's something I always tell my son, especially now, he's 20 now, but when he was in high school, I knew he was around it. And I'm like,
How did you deal with that? Like, I don't know.
I thought it was normal, Neal.
But no. I'm saying with your kids, with your kid and weed, are you like...
He doesn't do it though.
Okay.
And I've been blessed.
Lucky, right? Yeah.
I've been really blessed.
Because I know people whose kids were smoking a lot and they were kind of like, it's legal now. I don't know what the fuck to do about it.
Yeah.
You can get edibles. There's shit they can sneak.
Yeah. And my dad, edibles are the worst, by the way. Don't do it, you guys. Don't do it. But my dad, one thing I love about my dad is he goes, the one thing that you can take from all of this, the one good thing you can take from your brother. And he goes, and this isn't something that I'm, celebrating, but you kids don't do drugs. And I think his actions make you have this inner fear. You know what I mean? Yeah. You are traumatized. And he goes, and you got that for your brother. And he goes, if there's anything that you can give your brother like a huge thank you to, is that. And I get it. I get what my dad's saying by that. Like, yeah, he went through all of this, my brother, but what he did, it made us not want to be.
Yeah, that happened with my dad was an alcoholic. Yeah. None of us drink.
Yeah.
Or like
it's 8
scary. Out of 10 don't or whatever. Yeah. It's like, it just is not. I saw it. I saw what happens. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. I don't need to participate in that.
I think that's why I have I don't have if I am going to drink, and I'm not going to say I don't drink, but it's never any I can go all day today and not go, I need a drink. Yeah. Like, it's just not even my thing. It's just, so that's all for my brother. And that's why it was so important, Neal, to bring my son to the hospital to visit my brother when he was young. I had to make that journey, and I wanted him to meet my brother, and he loves his uncle Robert. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's
your brother is hospital or institutional.
Well, now he goes in and out. Here's the thing about. I'm just gonna talk about I'm not gonna generalize. I'll talk about my brother. Yeah. He's mentally disabled, but boy, he knows how to work the fucking system, man, like a genius. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm just like, well, why is that part of the brain so wired correctly? He works the system, bro, to a T. He knows how to get back in. He knows how to get help. He knows how to go here. He knows if he does this, he'll get.
So you know how to get out?
The judge will put him in. Oh, he knows. He knows good behavior to get him out. Yeah. He knows it. It's all clockwork, bro. Yeah. And then they'll put him in a group home. Then eventually he'll get out. And then he's like, all right, I can't do it on my own. bam, let me do this again, back. And it just,
whenever I deal with mentally ill people or consider mental, it seems like there's a steering wheel and just people like, and then they're at the wheel.
Yeah.
In their spirits.
In their head, yeah.
Like, and so your brother has like this guy who's super sort of canny and intelligent.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, the sort of more reckless guy, and it just seems like to be ongoing.
Yeah. And he can't shake it.
Yeah.
He just can't shake it.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
Because with mental illness like that, it's a true pick your poison thing of like the medication's awful.
Yeah.
But so is the illness.
Yeah.
So just pick.
Yeah.
And they go back and forth.
Yeah, man.
It seems like. All right. Was your dad's around?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, your parents stayed together?
No. They're divorced.
Okay.
They divorced really, really young.
Great.
Really, it was like I was 9 when they finally made it official, but it was bad from the beginning. You know what I mean? And I think it had a lot to do with my mom's ethnicity. You know what I mean? And I know for a fact, but I don't want to. Yeah, I just know. You know what I mean? I'll write my own story.
Okay.
But there's a reason why I don't know anyone on my dad's side of the family. There's a reason why I didn't receive gifts. And my mom and dad, when they married, my mom already had 2 kids. So that's that's Robert's stepdad. Did? Yeah, she already had Robert and Rowena, which are my sister and brother. But it was, from another man.
And this is in the 70s.
Bro,
must not have been that popular.
60s.
Not that popular.
No, man. So when he came back, you got this white family, from Buffalo. You know what I mean? And really? You brought home a refugee?
Yeah.
A couple refugees?
Yeah.
And God bless my dad because he loves him so much. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what a great man. I feel like he's an angel because during those times was a horrible time. You know what I mean? Like for him to do something like that is like, he was ahead of his time. Yeah. He really was. And he had a family that wasn't really supportive of that.
But I'd also like to point out white people weren't differentiating between the types of Asian back then.
Oh, no. They still are.
It was just Asian. But back then, Vietnam was happening.
Oh, yeah.
I bet that got brought up fairly often.
Oh, yeah, a lot. And you're right. And I mean, and just imagine the programming that we're watching. You know what I mean? Imagine being a half kid and I'm dealing with my identity, in school publicly, people are looking at me weird. They don't know what I am. They see my mom, they see my dad, but then when I'm by myself, they don't know what I am. I'm trying to describe what my mom is, and they don't get it. I watch TV and you see a cartoon of, Chinese people with buckets on their shoulders and their eyes are slanted and
great cartoons, great animation,
and kids are laughing and here I am and my mom, they're laughing and here's my mom and that's who she's supposed to be and these kids are allowed to laugh at that and it's like
God knows you would never make fun of your mother, Joe.
I don't make fun of my mom. I give my mom a voice, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a lot of emotional shit that we're going through.
Yeah. I don't think life's easy for anybody.
I've always said that.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're feeling sorry for yourself. I'm just like, that's this thing of anyone going through life, even the bully at school is probably getting his dad's beating him up or getting molested. Like everyone's being a kid is fucking
awful.
Really scary.
It's the worst.
I was going to ask, have you been in a situation where you were not asked to raise another kid, but like been in a relationship with a woman who had a kid?
Yeah.
And were you okay? Did you take your dad as an example?
I'm just going to talk on my behalf, going through the divorce and my ex. Like the reason why we're best friends, the reason why I take her on trips, like she's on vacation with my son, all expense paid, you know what I mean? And it's like, and I love that because of the relationship that they're having. And I bought her a house in front of my house. She literally lives in front of me. We share the same driveway.
It's a guardhouse, Joe.
Yeah, she's watching my house when I'm on the road. But I think what it is I'm overdoing it because I missed it as a kid. When my dad left, he left. Like it was phone call dad. You know what I mean? It was like, and forgetting my birthday. Like I remember he called me on my birthday one time and didn't know it was my birthday. He was just calling to check in. Like, hey, I'm just checking in on you kids.
When did it dawn on you like, oh, he doesn't know? Were you like, so yeah?
I waited. I waited till the end of that conversation. That's another thing that's burnt in my head. I tell my dad this all the time. I go, and we laugh about it, but he was like, oh, just checking up on you kids. You know, how's Gemma? How's school? All good, Dad. All right, cool. I just wanted to see if you're all right. I love you. Love you too, Dad. And then I waited. I go, hey, it's my birthday. And then just the silence on the other end. Oh my God, I'll be right there. And then he drives, takes us to Denny's. We go eat, hugs me, no gift, and then leaves. I never want my son to feel that. Ever. Like every birthday has been with his mommy and I. Every trip, I include him. And if I don't include her, she goes on an equal trip.
With him.
The same amount of money, the same type of spoiling here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to make you look bad and be like, oh, your mom ain't got it.
Yeah.
Maybe she should get another job. Like, why? Why the fuck are we going to do this? You know what I mean?
She ought to be cleaning yachts.
Yeah, clean some yachts.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You want to go on vacation?
Stock some books.
Get some vacation money. All right, let's do some blocks. I feel like we've established a nice emotional bed for ourselves. Number one, well, let's go right to can't touch my neck.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You know, this crew neck is I just been doing this lately, and it still bothers me. But for years, I would do this, where like even when I was a kid, I would do this, and my mom would make fun of me. She would she'd do that because when I was hold on, make sure the number's right. 8, I'll say about 70 years old. I was in the Philippines. I lived there for 6 years, and my cousin Mona, it was her birthday.
You speak Tagalog?
Oh, galing.
Great.
Oh, that means yes.
Great. I assumed it
I'll
did.
teach you.
Great. I love it.
Say mahal kita.
Mahal kita?
I love you too.
Great.
Thanks, Neal. So when I was
That's the second time you've forced me to say I love you.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't
you know what's great?
Take that back.
I don't want to be an
back.
Asian stereotype where you and Bobby Lee do disappointment in the exact same way.
Just shut up right now. I'm
great.
disappointed because you're taking away something very. Don't compare me to Bobby. First of all, you are blocking this love. I want you to unblock that and take that back. Don't say forced.
If Bobby were here, he would scream, "No more!" Just FYI.
Okay, good. Thank God. Well,
so that's where you
take back what you just say and say, "I love you, Joe."
Kim's of comedy, R.I.P.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Which I turned down, by the way.
I don't even know. Were you not in the Kim's of comedy?
No, I turned it down.
All right. Okay.
Anyway.
So I'm blocking the love, but go your neck.
So say I love you real quick.
I love it.
All right, cool. Yeah. So I'm like 7-ish, whatever. And Mona, it's her birthday. They get a goat. They get a cute little goat. We're playing with this damn goat all day. And we just thought they brought a goat, like a petting zoo. You know what I mean? We're just playing with the goat all day. Mom. Mona's my cousin. We're the same age. Okay. It was her birthday. And then all of a sudden, my Uncle Cardine, her dad, round 5, strings the goat up by his heels, by his back foot, and puts a bucket. We're all gathering around, thinking this is going to be cool. We're like, oh, he's going to kill the goat. We're like, oh, I'm going to kill the goat. And then slice. And I lost my shit. Like right now, I'm thinking about it. I lost my shit, ran to the room crying, like fucking crying, like you just murdered my friend, you fucking asshole. I didn't know what kill the goat meant. I didn't know you were really going to kill the fucking goat. Blood squirting out.
You thought it was going to be like a smear the queer.
I thought it was going to be a funny thing. Okay.
Yeah. Remember smear the queer?
I remember that.
We were just openly homophobic as kids.
Yeah.
It was just smeared.
How many times did you get smeared? Because I got smeared all the time.
I mean, I think we all got smeared.
I think we all got smeared. And I traumatized, bro. Traumatized.
Yeah,
and the way it was screaming was just like horrific. Yeah. And I just remember it was like my neck, and then forever.
Did all the kids freak out?
Mona was crying. We were all crying. Like it was so fucked up.
And did he think it was kind of funny?
Oh, they thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's humor for them. You know what I mean? And that messed me up for years. I mean, to this day, I'm still thinking I can't wear chains. I love V-necks. You'll always see me with a V-neck most of the time, but I've been starting to trying to overcome it. I've been wearing these. I just started buying these like maybe a year and a half ago.
Because you were so
I'm trying to fight it. Yeah, I really am. Talking about right now is freaking me out.
Sensitive
If I feel something touching my neck, it sparks it right away.
That's
it goes right back to my childhood, and I see it.
Do you eat goat?
No, I don't eat meat.
My man, me neither.
Yeah.
So what? So what about like trying things on?
Oh, I don't mind that. Just don't touch my neck.
Anybody, women kissing you?
Nope. Don't touch me. Don't touch me at the back of my neck. Don't touch the front of my neck.
When do you tell them?
After sex, and they put their hand right here. You know how they cuddle real, and I pull it right down. Like, please don't fuck this. Miss. Don't fuck this moment up. Don't fuck this moment up.
Miss, stop it.
You're bringing me back to the goat. Don't do this.
And did you? And you? Well, you know what's funny is you tell the story, and there are certain like traumas in life, whatever trauma's overused, but where you just go, yeah, I don't know, I just don't like getting my neck touched. From now, because I saw a neck, No,
it's called trauma, Neal. Quit down talking shit.
I'm down talking.
No, but
Joe,
stop.
You have to say that we're living in a world where trauma is overused.
Overused, you're right.
And over labeled and overprescribed, and anyone can say it's trauma, and none of us can go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but you got to admit, with social media and the ability to everyone have a box to speak has done that. Because when we were kids, it was put the fucking helmet back on and walk back out there. You know what I mean?
Yes. You're crazy.
Oh, he punched you? Go fucking punch him back.
Punch him back.
You know
Don't
what I mean?
come home unless you beat. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he bumped you? Well, then you bump him.
Correct.
That was different. That's a different trauma.
No, you're not wrong though. But I've been doing a joke lately about trauma because it's just a bit like, eh. So when I hear somebody around our age talking about like, no, we have to. What's funny is you see it. My point is you see it get slaughtered.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, I don't like getting my neck touched. It's kind of
It's called trauma, Neal. What the fuck? Why are you
mild.
looking up there? What's up there?
It's mild. I have a teleprompter up there. I'm like Marlon
It's not
Brando.
mild because you didn't experience the trauma.
But what I'm saying is, how inconvenient was it? And I'm not even trauma negging you. I'm just saying how I think that some traumas are just like, okay, like I don't like getting in the head because my dad, whatever, violence toward me. Part of me thinks it's kind of funny now.
Yeah.
Where I'll just I'll go like immediately and not immediately identify with, I think there's a way where you can experience it, kind of think it's funny, and not immediately go to like my hall, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, my hall of trauma, my special trauma, trophy case of trauma, there's that trauma.
But would it be fair to say that you're saying that now because you're more mature, you're older, you have more experience? Okay, so
yes,
wouldn't your attitude be different 20 years ago about someone touching your head? Or even 30 years ago?
I would say yes.
And
I was
the
very
trauma.
serious about it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is
everyone's different with dealing with their trauma.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I think we're saying the same thing.
Do you think it's unfair that you're downplaying trauma right now?
No. What I'm giving people a path forward. Joe, you want them to get stuck. You want people to get stuck in there.
No, I don't want to get stuck.
What I'm saying,
I told you I'm
right,
dealing with it.
But even the idea of like, I don't like getting my neck touched because I saw a goat get slaughtered.
Don't touch my fucking neck.
Right.
Yeah.
And you go, don't touch my, and then people go, just fucking stop it. Right. And you've gotten through it, and it's just another one of those. It's like the good part about where the time we grew up in is there was a lot of just like, I don't fucking know. It just, that's the guy. He's a little off, and we didn't pathologize and honor. It was just kind of like, I think there needs to be a bit more of like, we all got something.
Yeah.
And not making it such a big deal.
Yeah. I talk about that on stage right now. You know, I say that, and I love, that's what I love about our job. You know what I mean? I always say this. It's like, I go to therapy, but it's like, you know, I'm only doing that to release. Like, I'm not going to sit there and take this guy's word or this woman's word on what I need to do, because what are you dealing with? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you got some fucked up shit too.
It's the life coaching phenomenon where you go, you're a life coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do love the opportunity to just say some shit to someone and be able to be like, okay, I got it out. So I do enjoy that aspect, and that's why I love stand-up, because now I get to do that, tell these stories, And now you get to pay me to hear my trauma or hear whatever it is that I was dealing with.
Have you had the thing where, because this happened when I did 3 mics, I like got over the stuff with my dad.
Yeah.
From it. Like I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's not a trigger. It's not any of those words.
Yeah.
Have you had that where you've talked about something enough where you're like, oh, I'm sort of healed, for lack of a better word?
It's so I love what we're talking about right now. You're making me feel so good right now. I literally was just talking about it on the bus about my dad. And I was, I wasn't being mean. I was just like, doing a jab.
Yeah.
He's not even here.
Yeah.
And my dad has been a fucking amazing guy. He's the only one that visits my brother the most. If you ever look at the login book, it's my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you'll see an occasional my signature, an occasional my sister's signature. But out of 1,000, it's my dad.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not his son. You know what I mean? It's his son.
Interesting.
It's his son.
It's a stepson.
It's a stepson. It's not blood. He adopted him when he was 8, bro. And he got his ass kicked by him when he was like 13, 14. My brother can fucking fight, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 6, 7 cops. Like I remember them punching the back of my brother's head and they just want his arms behind the back. You got one cop here, one cop here. They're trying to put his arms together. Just put your fucking arms behind your back. What the fuck? Bop, bop, hitting him in the back of the neck. And my brother's just looking at me like, they can't get me. They can't get me, Joe. You know what I mean? And just like, that my dad's dealing with this?
Yeah.
Like, what? That's not even my kid. Like, and then that's when I started like coming up with my own shit. I'd be like, yo, I would have got a divorce too. I would have left. What the fuck did I just get into?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So then that's like I said, I come in terms with my dad. I'm still poking, I still jab him every now and then, even when he's not around. But I always got to weigh the good and the bad. And like you said, you're dealing with it. I accept that he was gone. You know what I mean? Because I understand. I'm still mad that he wasn't around. You know what I mean? And I'm overcompensating with my son. I give him everything because I feel like I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm living vicariously through my son.
It's that thing where you do like, see this, Dad? And he's not there and he can't see it. But you're like, we're on vacation.
Yeah.
I bought him 2 vacations.
Yeah, let me FaceTime you.
Yeah, but it's also like, but he didn't have the resources you have.
Yeah.
Or
he did.
The emotional resource. He did?
Okay. There were opportunities.
How about this? He didn't have the emotional resources.
Yes.
Those guys didn't know.
They didn't, man.
They just had no fucking idea.
And he was being raised by, orphans from the war. You know what I mean? Like, if you really, I'm not even joking. Like, I know his parents' history and I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Your dad didn't say I love you to you.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, it was a different time, Yep. They came to this country in the 20s. It's like, all right, I got it.
And like I was saying before that, illiterate farmers.
Yes.
So where are they supposed to get all this emotional intelligence from?
Mm-hmm.
They'd never even heard of it.
They don't even know it. The fuck you talking about emotion?
Way, every girl we've dated would say that you and I aren't emotionally intelligent or able to provide the amount of emotional support they need.
Yeah.
And you and I like think about it a lot. And we still don't got the gifts.
Nope.
So I think we're both saying the same thing, which is like there's trauma and you can make fun of it. And I don't think it trivializes it or minimizes it or reduces it, because I can speak firsthand and say I've talked about the good thing about comedy is it does reduce things that seem so overwhelming, and just be like, nah, and then everyone feels better.
Yeah.
Like race, whatever, just fucking huge issues.
Yeah.
And for a minute, you're free. Joe, it says here that you can't sleep. Guys, you know how you're riddled with worry 24/7, and most of the time it's about buying tickets? Me too. GameTime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Okay. Let's look at what do we got on the old GameTime feed. Eric Nam will be at the House of Blues. I don't know what. I mean, based on this guy's look, he could be like a preacher, a televangelist. He could be like a motivational speaker. He seems Asian, which sometimes that's enough for a concert. There's a band called Vampires Everywhere. It seems like they picked the wrong name because you're not going to be Vampire Weekend. And maybe it's a cover band. We don't know. Mudhoney, they were part of the early 90s Seattle scene where all the vocals sounded like, "Here." Although I don't think they were. I've never heard them. I've never heard them and I never will. Chappelle Roan, been there. Sounds like some kind of illness. Pentatonics. I feel like they're at the Acusure Arena. This is a good part of the show for me because I get to hear about new bands and new arenas. So it's a win-win for me. Mamma Mia. You can get tickets for Mamma Mia at the Pantages in LA. Dancing Queen. It's ABBA. And it's maybe the greatest. I'd put it in my top 5 songs of all time. Perfect production. Do you hear me? The Dice Man is at the Wiltern. That's pretty cool. Jeff Asmus is going to be at the Brea Improv. That dude's really funny. I don't know if you follow him or Little Esther will be at the Irvine Improv. Chad Daniels will be at the Irvine Improv, but there's a picture of Jeff Dye. So I don't know if this is some kind of Gallagher 2 situation, but you know what I mean? With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, reviews from your seat, and their best price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. All right, here's what I like about GameTime. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, views from all seats in the venue, lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, etc. GameTime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code BLOCKS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BLOCKS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. Cozy up in style this fall with the unmatched comfort of MeUndies. MeUndies has the softest and most breathable underwear and loungewear that I've ever experienced. Whether you're on the grind during the work week or posted up on the couch watching blocks on Netflix, MeUndies is here to keep you comfy. They sent me the underwear, guys. Soft as hell. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just very soft. It's breathable. It's the stuff that it's just all the stuff you want in an underwear. I don't want to get too specific other than to say, if you need underwear, get MeUndies. They're great underwear. They got like all kinds of styles, from all black classics, all black everything, to fun seasonal prints and modern geometric shapes. MeUndies has a wide range of cuts that'll fit your style, like cupped fabric on testicles. They've got versatile loungewear. MeUndies isn't just about underwear. Oh no. Explore the lounge collection featuring cozy joggers, hoodies, onesies, and more. Unmatched comfort. MeUndies' signature tense micromodal fabric is as soft as a warm hug from your favorite sweater. It's breathable, stretchy, and oh so comfy, making it ideal for all-day wear. It's breathable. MeUndies fabrics are light and breathable to help regulate your body temperature so you stay cool and comfy, and they're reasonably sourced. They use sustainably sourced materials and work with partners that care for their workers. They have a problem-free philosophy. Not happy with your first pair of undies? It's on MeUndies. To get 25% off your first order plus free shipping, go to MeUndies.com/NEAL. That's MeUndies, MEUNDIES.com/NEAL for 25% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in. Joe, it says here that you can't sleep.
I can't, man. I don't know what my problem is. And I don't have insomnia.
Do you have ADD?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, if you eat sugar, you have you have ADHD, you have everything. You're hyper. Sugar's in my body. I'm going to be...
I think you have it without sugar. I bet you have it all the time.
Who are you, a doctor? Who are you?
I have a podcast.
No, I do. I do have... Do you have... Oh, you do have a podcast.
I don't have... I might have it. I don't know.
I think you have it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think people in our profession, we have it.
Yeah.
You take all this away and put us in an office, you would go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to handle it. And that's your ADHD. You'd be like, my brain wants to do this right now.
Yeah.
I don't have time to fucking do word perfect. I don't even know what office words are. What are office words? The apps? What are office words?
It's all a word perfect. I mean, whatever. Yeah. That's the Microsoft. Yeah.
I would be in the break room a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would be.
I would be.
Well, you know what's funny is you, and I was saying this to the producer, like, you have a thing where I've noticed before where you call people by their name.
Yeah.
and like, Neal, let me like did you pick that skill up, or was that
I don't know.
You are very good at a thing that I'm not good at, which is making sure people like you. For real. Like I want to hug you. I want to like individually, you need to get individual people. I don't have that. And I genuinely am envious of it. It does seem like a waste of time though.
Yeah.
Meaning you're paying the price in time and I'm paying the price in likability.
Yeah. That's your trauma. You got to deal with that.
I'm going to put it in my trauma case. Put it in.
No, I think what it is, here we go. We're going back to trauma again.
Great.
Is I didn't feel it at home, man.
You didn't feel liked or appreciated.
No, I felt invisible all the time. Like, you know what I mean? My dad was gone. My mom was working late. I'm by myself a lot. You know, all I had was stand up. All I would watch is stand up. I was addicted.
Yeah.
I would watch it nonstop.
Yeah.
And that was I loved it. I laughed all the time. I love to make people laugh. And I think what it is I love that feeling.
Well, you also can't, I remember around that age when you start being likable.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is fucking
it's
great.
addicting.
Like you can really get people to think you're funny.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Maybe you're slightly aware that's annoying. But you don't care.
You know, there was this one time, because we're military kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's every 3 years you up and go, right? And it sucked.
Everyone. Just about everyone in the military every 3 years.
Yeah. So it's like whoever's in the military, your mom or your dad, we're all in the military. You know what I mean? So it's like, you served, we all served. You know what I mean? Because it sucks. Emotionally, it's fucked up. They don't need to move them around. It's just a way of mentally controlling them. It's breaking the soldier down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't have too many consistent relationships. Don't bond with too many people. Let's separate you and always keep you.
Is that true or that's your suspicion?
That's just my suspicion.
I'm sure you're right. I'm just wondering
because there's no reason. There's enough fucking soldiers in the world. Why are you moving him?
Yeah.
Why did you move him?
Yeah.
For what? Oh, there's a guy in St. Louis that left, so we need to fill that spot. Okay, hire someone in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's a mental breakdown. It's control. That's all that is.
Yep.
But what happens is it breaks the family unit down. But I knew when I was really young that was so funny. And I remember we were leaving the Philippines and I had so many friends, man, because that was the longest we ever stayed anywhere. It was 6 years we stayed there. You know, usually it's 3 or 4, right? And we were there for almost 6 years.
Is that where he met your mom?
No, he met her. Oh my God. I don't know where. He was overseas when he met her.
Okay.
So
that's kind of good luck. Your mom's
it was beautiful.
Filipino.
It was great luck.
And then you're in you're Manila, or were you?
Yeah, we lived. We lived on the base, which was Clark Air Force Base, and it was so cool because all my mom's family lived in Manila.
Great.
So we would go every weekend. You know, and it was just, it was so much fun. Best childhood memories were the Philippines.
Not trauma. It wasn't all trauma, guys. Some of it was just good stuff.
Except for the goat.
The goat. Of course, the goat and whatever story he's getting ready to tell right now.
Yeah.
And of course, the moving.
No, this is a good story.
Great. Oh, great.
Okay. Don't talk any of this. No.
Look, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to put these headphones. I'm getting ready.
Why do you have them?
I don't know.
Why do you have them?
No, it's not my studio. I'm getting ready to be a fan, Joe.
All right.
Go ahead.
Take them off.
Okay.
Take them off. No, but I remember that I was funny, and I remember saying like we had to pack up. I was so depressed that we had to leave, but I remember going, "I'm funny. Like I'm gonna get new friends because I'm always funny. Everyone thinks I'm funny. Like, and I started getting excited to move to Tacoma because I knew I was gonna be funny. I was like, I'm good.
You're like 6 or 7.
I was 8 or 9, right around there. But I knew I'm like, I'm funny. I'm good.
Yeah, I'll be good.
When I moved to, I'll be good. I'm funny, and I to this I always remember that at that young of an age, I knew I was a funny guy, and I
that is a cool thing when you realize like, I'll be fun. I'll just go there.
And
I'm assuming they like comedy there too.
Yeah.
And you're figuring out the kinds of jokes you're good at.
Yeah, I just knew I was quick.
Yeah.
Like even the adults said I was quick. Like they would always call me comedian, and I didn't know what comedian. I just thought the word comedy, and this is how adults say comedy or what. I didn't know what comedian was until I moved to Tacoma, and then my friend who lived on the same neighborhood as me, he said it. He was like, "Oh man, you're such a comedian," and I go, "What is that?" Like, what the fuck is that?
You turned into Sebastian?
Yeah.
What is it?
What is that? And then he brought me a Richard Pryor cassette tape, his dad's cassette tape. And then that's when I started listening. I could not stop listening to that. I remember hiding it because I was like, wait, my mom can't know that I'm listening to this. Then she found out I was listening to it and she loved it. You know what I mean? And so now I'm listening to that. Then we get HBO samples where they
can't say enough about the free weekend on HBO.
Yo.
We would record it and we would masturbate to it later. There was a later. We would get it for a weekend.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Emmanuel 5, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. The whole Cinemax. You'd record a half-hour comedy.
You didn't leave that weekend. You got 2 videotapes.
You'd watch it and record the whole time.
You get the videotape and you had SP, LP, or EP, and you put it on EP.
Because you get 6 hours. That's right, Joe.
And I would record every HBO hour because that's back in the day. They were the only ones that had specials. And I fell in love with everybody. I mean, Comic Relief was like
huge.
This is like a smorgasbord. This is a buffet of comedy. But anyway, that's when I saw Delirious. And when I saw Delirious, I'm like, because audio was Richard Pryor. Delirious was video. I got to see what a comedian did.
Yes.
And I was like, that's me. I'm going to be that guy.
Great.
And that's what happened. I knew right when I get out of high school, I'm going to be a comedian.
And that was in Vegas in 89?
1989, yeah.
What were you doing in Vegas? You moved there?
Yeah, well, my grandmother had cancer, so we all moved to be with my grandmother, and that's why we ended up staying in Vegas.
How long did you...
I stayed in...
How long did you go for your grandma? It was your dad's mom or your mom's mom?
It was my mom's mom.
Okay.
And so we were with her, and she fought that thing hard. You know, she was supposed to go right away. That's what they said in 89.
I've heard she fought cancer like your brother fought the cops. Yeah. Is that true?
That's true.
Is that a mean callback, guys?
No, I love that callback.
Great. Thank you very much.
Cancer was the cops in her soul.
Correct. And she was fucking...
And she was like...
Can't keep me down,
She was like,
Joe.
you're not going to handcuff me.
Can't handcuff me.
And she fought it, man. And we ended up staying there. I loved it. What
was that story you told me about getting on Comic View?
Yeah.
What was the...
Comic View was they did this thing. Mind you, black comedy, the movement didn't start until like
started in 91, 92.
Yeah, but it didn't. But you weren't in the comedy clubs unless you were Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Rock wasn't even being promoted at that time. Chris Rock was like at the Riviera Comedy Club. That's where I went to watch him. You know what I mean? And he was on a calendar. You know what I mean? Like
they were just black comics in the 80s. Like Rock would say, like they wouldn't put 2 black comics on the same show, like in New York.
No, they wouldn't put black comics in a theater, even if he was famous. Like it was risque. It really was. And so when Def Comedy Jam came to Vegas, they weren't on the Strip. It was at this comedy club. It was not a comedy club. It was a theater on Boulder Highway called Sam's Town. It was Sam's Town. It was a country western themed casino. And here's Def Jam.
Did you go see it?
Which is crushing.
Yeah. Everywhere in the world.
Everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
It was such a movement.
Yeah.
And these 4 guys that I'm sharing the stage with are huge. But
you were on the show.
That was fun how I got that too. I fought for that one too. I went there with a camera. My boy Honest John was on it, and
White guy.
he goes, I'm gonna introduce you to Bob Sumner. He gonna put you on here, man. When I'm gonna tell him that you're funny. And I go there with my sister, and I got my camera. Honest John's there. Bob Sumner walks in. You know Bob.
Yep.
And Bob created Def Comedy Jam, and he's like, I heard Honest John said you're funny. I'm like, yeah. He was like, he's eating like a cake or some shit. It was just all
something like,
just so fucking like, I heard you're funny. Just fucking muffin falling out of his mouth. And he's like, I heard you're funny. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 5 minutes before we start the show. He goes, we're gonna leave the house lights on because we're still sitting people, and we're gonna leave the curtain.
We're gonna people come slap you across the face.
I'm gonna kick you in your
40
nuts.
seconds.
Every punchline, I'm gonna get kicked in the nuts.
You're gonna do great.
He goes, beautiful set, by the way. It says Def Comedy Jam. It's everything that I've seen on TV.
Yep.
It's got the DJ stand. He goes, we're gonna keep the curtains closed. You're gonna crawl through the curtains. And
really?
Yeah. He goes, leave the house lights on because we're still seeing it.
Yeah.
Just do 5 minutes.
We're not
man.
gonna use the microphone. You gotta yell.
Yeah. No, even worse. He goes, don't say welcome to Def Jam. Just go, I'm Joe Coy. Do your set, and then when you're done, say good night. And don't say enjoy Def Jam. Just say good night.
Yep.
You good with that? I go, yeah, I'm cool with that.
How long you been doing stand-up
crawl
at this
back
point?
through the curtain. I'd have to say I started in 89, so that's about 8 years in. It's about, or 9 years in, so it's about
96? 98, really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think 99.
They're still doing Def Jam tours in 98?
It was the tour.
Right, that's what
Def
I'm saying.
Jam tour. It was
I
a
thought
Def
they
Jam.
I remember those from like 93, 94, but maybe I'm wrong.
This is the tour. It's not,
okay.
it's not on
the
TV
tours
anymore.
were in 93, 94. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Damn, was it 93? Dude, don't quote me on my
Sure.
years. I'm
Okay.
fucking old.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's in the 90s.
Yep.
So, dude, so I remember like when he left, I looked at my sister. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this? Like, why? And then my sister's like, just go, just do it. And then the stage manager goes, hey, we're at like 70%. I'm going to turn the house lights down. I'm not going to turn them off. I'm going to turn them down. So it'll be a little dark in the room. He goes, but I can't keep these curtains open. You know what I mean? It's just go through the curtain, come right back through the curtain. We're going to be right there. They were so cool.
Yeah.
And they open up the curtain. I crawl through like Carol Burnett. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look and I'm like, hey, I'm Joe Coy. I do my shit. Good night.
Do good? You do good.
Standing O, man.
Oh,
they're stomping on the bleachers. I crawl back through. Rudy Rush, you know Rudy.
Yeah.
Rudy Rush is standing there next to Bob Sumner, and he's like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? And he goes, oh, that's Honest John's friend. He goes, why'd you put him up before me? Why didn't you put him in the fucking show, Bob? He goes, I didn't know he was going to be funny. He's like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, now we're going to start the show? This guy just crushed it. And then he goes, Rudy goes, you watch the Apollo? I go, yeah, I love the Apollo. He goes, I'm putting you on the Apollo because he was hosting the Apollo at that time.
This might be 2000, dude.
Dude, I think it's 99. Maybe you're right. 2000.
Rudy did warm up for Chappelle's show in 2002 and 3.
So you're right.
Or 2002,
so
3, 4.
So it was around 2000-ish.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't quote me.
Yeah, fine.
So anyway, like I said, it was the tour. And yeah, you're right. I think it was like 2000.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you ever watch the Apollo? I'm like, love the Apollo. Are you kidding me? By the way, this is the real Apollo. You know what I mean? This is where they boo you. He goes, you're on it. He goes, I'm going to have my producers call you. I want you on it. So I got on Def Jam that night. They put me on the tour, and I got the Apollo, and then I won the Apollo.
My man Joe Coy. What's up with Joe Coy? We have a new champion. It's my man Joe Coy.
And now all that from just going
What
there.
was your closer? I remember you telling me your closer about, I believe it was Asian people having sex.
No, that was Comic View.
Tell me your Comic View closer.
Comic
just for
View
the
was
people.
awesome. Can I tell you how I got Comic View?
Please.
So I'm working at the Dolphin Habitat as a tour guide.
Of course,
at the Mirage.
we figured.
And this one girl goes, hey, you know Comic View's here. I'm like, Comic View's here? They go, live. They're here. They're doing a show. And I go, where? They had this they had this mini casino called Country Star, which was country music's answer to the Hard Rock. So it was like a country music Hall of Fame restaurant with a stage.
Yeah.
It's called the Country Star. Short-lived. Let's put Comic View in there, right? Once again, they're not allowed in the casinos. So I begged my manager, let me go, please. I just want to go watch it. Like, just want to watch it. Like, I just want to be there. I race home, put on this suit. I didn't even take a shower. I put this suit on. I grabbed this fake resume that my dad made for me, that my dad took my headshots, and I ran back. I said,
He's back in the picture. Welcome back,
my
Dad.
dad's back,
Go ahead.
man. Yeah, my dad's like, hey, I wasn't there when you were a kid, but,
but now
I'm going to be here for your success
now
story.
the money's going to start
I'm going to be in the book, son,
Yeah.
somehow. So I grabbed this resume, and I swear to God, Neal, when I walked up to the front of the line, this line was wrapped around the building, and I walked to the front of the line, security guard, and I say this all the time, when has a security guard ever helped anybody?
Yeah.
And I go, I'm a local comic. I just want to do like 5 minutes. People know who I am. I just want to do warm up. Is there any way I could talk to the promoter? He goes, 1 second, man. Let me go. And he left and went and got Yvette Anderson. I don't know if you know Yvette Anderson,
think
but
I
she
do.
used to produce these things. And she came to the front and I handed her my resume, local comic. Can I just go up? And she's like, oh, next time, but we already have all our people, but next time, but do you want to see a show? This is my first time ever getting into a comedy show just because I said it was a comic.
Yeah.
It was so mind-blowing to me. I didn't know the system, how you guys operated. I go, I don't have to buy a ticket. No, come on, sit there. You can sit in my booth. I was like, what the fuck? I sat down. They had this huge Canon XL camcorder. It was massive. I remember it was like a $6,000 camera because I saw it at Wow Electronics. And I was just like, oh, this is official. That's probably how they record Comic View. You know what I mean? I've never seen a studio camera before. I'm just sitting next to it and I'm looking at it. Late. All the comics late.
Again,
I know.
We don't.
I know.
We're not going to
gonna
touch
say
it. We're not going to touch
Black Show.
We're
not
never
going
to
to touch
it.
Show started at 8.
Look,
it's
guys,
8:45.
If you
We're
want
not
to
gonna
pause
touch
the
it.
podcast right now,
Pause now.
and think of your own stereotypes and all the stuff that we can't stop you.
I'm going to say it was an 8 o'clock show. It's 8:45 when she says they're not here yet. Okay? But I don't have a stereotype for them either.
I'm going to say a thing that Gerard Carmichael said to me one time.
No.
Gerard Carmichael was in Transformers 3.
Alien dinosaur.
And he said the production was very poorly run. He's I've been on black comedy shows that were more on time than this movie.
Oh, no.
So that's all I wanted to say about that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I love the movie.
Transformers 3?
Yeah.
Is it one Gerard's in? I don't know. He's in one of them.
I don't know.
But it wasn't run quick. It wasn't run expeditiously. Thank you, T.I. for bringing expeditiously into our lives.
Ran late. None of the comics are there. They're screaming. The audience is like, start the fucking show. What the fuck? Like, when's it going to start? Like, you're hearing all this. And she walks up to me. She goes, do you want to just do like 5 minutes? You want to go up? And I looked at the camera. I go, can you record it with that? Just if you can record that, it'd be the best tape. If you can record, she was like, let me set it up. Sets it up, brings me on stage, standing O. I know.
Tell the people you're a closer.
Consistent.
Tell the people you're a closer real quick.
I'm not going to do my bit.
Give
I
them
ask you to do your bits?
I'd love to do them.
I'm not going to do my bit.
Give them the.
I'm not going to do my bit.
Premise. I believe the premise was
don't do
Asian men
going down.
Right, but wasn't it Talking Dirty? Is that what it was?
Talking Dirty, yes.
And just give me a little.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Wet my beak a little bit.
I'm not going to wet your beak.
All right, we'll have to cut to it.
I used to say everyone thinks French is the romantic language. I go, you need to get with an Asian person. Nothing more romantic than a Chinese guy whispering sweet nothings in your ear. And they get real close, kiss your ear, and then they go, "Dao dua, dong wa, dong da wa," and fuck Neal.
You wanted to play hardball. We're gonna cut to it.
Yeah, it's you know.
Yeah.
It was the times that we were in.
But it's a killer bit.
It was a killer bit. It was my go-to.
Yeah, of course.
And I loved it.
An Asian sex bit.
I loved it.
You couldn't bomb.
It. First of its kind.
Couldn't bomb.
Unfiltered.
Yes. Anyhow.
Walk off stage. Bo P. Do you know Bo P? Comic author, old school. And he was just like, can I do his voice?
Yeah.
Man, you amazing, man. God damn. You ever been on Comic View?
Now, if you're mad at that impression,
you can't, because it's an exact.
Listen to his Honest John impression. Honest John's white, so this guy calls it like he sees
John's
it.
Like, hey man, you really funny. You really.
It's a
funny,
white guy
man.
he's doing. This guy.
Both people like, hey man.
But you know what he won't do? His Asian sex bit. He'll do all kinds of black sense.
I refuse to do that.
Won't do that, but won't do and won't.
So he's like, I'm gonna put you on Comic View, and a week later I was on Comic View.
Incredible.
And that's how I got Comic View.
Incredible. The guy did it.
I still have that video, by the way.
I may ask for a link.
Yeah.
This guy got it out the mud, as they say. You can't sleep. That's how we got to this.
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you deal with that?
I don't know. And I know it's not insomnia. It's not. It's my brain. My brain is going, I enjoy being up. I really do.
That's
I
the thing.
enjoy it.
If
It's
you
not like
enjoy
I'm
it
restless.
and you aren't dying the next day,
No,
some people don't maybe need that much sleep.
no.
Do you think you're maybe one of those people? 4 hours a night?
And I have sleep apnea. Bad,
Right.
severe sleep apnea.
Yes.
Severe. Like I if I don't have a mask, I'd rather stay up. If it's a 15-hour flight, I'd rather stay up than
You
to
can't
close
bring
my
a
eyes.
sleep apnea thing on
They
the
won't let me
plane?
plug it in. One time I snuck it on, I knocked out all the first class. I'm
That's
not even
so
joking. I
goddamn
plugged the
funny.
shit in, and it literally, I plugged it in, tried to sing. I covered it with a blanket because I had to sleep. Plugged it in, and then right when I did it, the light, it went, pew! And then right when it happened, I saw the girl sitting to my left and went, "What the hell?" And then I was like, and I just packed everything up. Flight attendant came out like, "Are you guys?" And I go, "I don't know what's going on." And it was me.
That reminds me of a story of my own where I have a dog, my dog Keith, a pit bull, taken him to the dog park, brought a bully stick, which is a basically bull testicle dried that dogs fucking love.
Really?
Brought it to the dog park with Keith, thought we'll have a good time. Other dogs were interested. Keith did not take it well and was snapping. And someone said, who was stupid enough to bring a bully stick to the dog park? And I, of course, was like, who would do such a thing?
You ignored it?
Yeah, I'm
You
not
did
I'm
not.
not gonna fucking say it was me. You ignored. You knocked out first class.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking stand up and go, "Hello, miss. I'd like to turn myself in." Go fuck yourself.
Fuck that.
You're not gonna.
You just walked away.
And yeah, I'm not gonna fucking say that I did it. Okay, so how long was first class out? The whole rest of the flight?
Yeah, it was about 30 minutes.
That's not bad.
They finally got it back on.
All right, good. All right, that's not bad.
Or did they? I can't remember. It was funny though.
That's hilarious.
So fucking fun. It was a scene in the chaos that ensued because everyone was watching movies.
Yeah.
Everything went black. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And if you would have seen how slowly, you put your hands here because you don't want to, and I'm coiling up the cord. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I grabbed the mask. I disconnected.
Yeah.
I was doing
nothing
everything.
to do with it. Nothing.
No one
What's
knew it
going
was
on,
me.
officer? You were the serial killer who went to the crime scene.
Yeah.
Like, what? A killer in our neighborhood?
What?
Well, I never. I'll keep an eye out. Okay, so sleep apnea. Did you know that was not a thing until fairly recently? That even people just used to snore.
Yeah, they called it snoring.
And you were doing that?
I knew right out of high school I had something wrong with me, but my dad just said it was snoring. He goes, I do it too. And I'm like, die?
Yeah.
Every
night.
I feel like someone's standing on my chest. I remember telling my dad that. I was like, it feels like someone's standing on my chest and covering my mouth.
When did you get officially diagnosed with it?
2005.
Okay. So you just lived with it.
And it was getting worse and worse. I remember around 2000, it was like episodic, like waking up in cold sweats and stuff in my throat.
I don't know if you remember Kent Alterman worked at Comedy Central. He had really bad sleep apnea and it fucked. He had insomnia. He was kind of chunky from it and he got a CPAP machine and his whole life changed.
Yeah.
Because he could sleep better.
Yep.
He lost weight.
Yeah.
He was like healthy. He could exercise. Just shit he could not do.
That's me.
And
it was the next day
that your life turned around.
Oh, life changed. And I finally saw leaves for the first time. Isn't that crazy to say that? Like I remember looking at a tree going, it was so vivid and vibrant. You know what I mean? I guess I had a haze over my eyes my whole life.
Everything. Throw that block up. Couldn't see leaves. Until 2005.
No, I'm serious. I remember looking at a tree and just like, whoa, there's branches inside there. And
so you must have been like a bad student.
Oh, I was bad.
Like you must have
awful. Slept in class.
Yeah.
Spit coming out my mouth. I got into so many accidents, falling asleep behind the wheel. It was bad.
Like
I watched
straight
old
up
footage of me.
fall asleep and then wake up and you're in an accident.
Yeah,
You've gotten into an accident.
Oh yeah.
How many times?
Oh my! I hit Bob Saget's car at Fox Lot.
You fell asleep on a lot?
Fox Lot, yeah.
So that's
how
not
you have
a
to wait in
long
line
drive.
to get in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I waited and then my foot came off the brake and bam. And I look up, it's a BMW. This lady walks out and And I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is like a horrible time in my life. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired right now. I feel this. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then she looked at me. She goes, you're at the Laugh Factory a lot? And I go, yeah, I'm at the Laugh Factory. She's like, okay, I'm with Bob Saget. This is Bob's car. So don't worry about it. I'll tell him what happened. And they took care of it.
So you were falling asleep. Like, do you feel like I could have died?
Yeah. Yeah. And oh God, I had my son in the car one time when I did it. I hit someone on the freeway, but thank God it was bumper to bumper too.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I was doing it. But
Were you ever going 70 and fell asleep?
Yeah. I remember I hit a guardrail and it was my friend's car and I ruined the whole left panel. I remember waking up and seeing sparks. I was like, ah!
Did Kanye's song make you go like through the wire? Were you like, that could have been me?
Yeah, that could have been me.
By the way, this came out before 2005.
Yeah. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just thought I was tired.
Yeah.
I didn't know what sleep apnea was. No one told me it was sleep apnea. I just thought I was tired. I was like, I didn't understand why people weren't sleeping more. I just thought it was my schedule because I had 3 jobs. I didn't know. And then someone told me I had sleep apnea. My best friend was like, you got sleep apnea. My dad has that. And then next thing you know, I get a mask.
Even with the mask and everything, it's still not amazing sleep.
Oh, it's amazing sleep.
Oh, it is, right? Okay, but you're still not. Do you
I'm
feel
wide awake right now. I only got like 4 hours of sleep.
And is that fairly typical?
Yeah. I'll go long. I can go 8 hours. I just had to do morning radio. But I mean, normally, if I didn't have that mask, I'd probably be in an accident right now. I'd be done.
That's good. Congratulate. I mean, it's like that must have been like that's life changing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's why when I talked about it on my special, I'm serious. It's like, come on, you guys. Like, because I also know it's like this stupid man thing. Like, I'm wearing that stupid thing. It's just snoring. It's like, bro, no, it's not. Like, Robin Harris died from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy had severe sleep apnea. He didn't look like that.
Well, he had sleep apnea on stage.
Yeah, he had severe. His eyes were red because he wasn't sleeping.
Yeah, like he could barely like enunciate on stage. His throat was so tight.
Cold out there, y'all. Saw Superman in a cab. I said, why you ain't flying? Like the frost ain't working, Robin.
Yeah, and it's sad because we would have got more if he would have just wore that damn mask, and people don't understand that. It's like you're gonna get a heart attack or a stroke quicker than you.
Yeah, it's bad for every part of you, right?
Yeah,
like your heart rate goes up. Like it's just a nightmare.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Dr. Squatch. Guys, just so you know, there will not be a promo code. I'm warning you now. No promo code. I repeat, no promo code. You got to go to drsquatch.com/NEAL. That's drsquatch.com, DRSQUATCH.com/Neal. New Dr. Squatch customers get 3 free soaps with the buy 3, get 3 bundle by using my personal link. That's drsquatch.com/NEAL. Here's the deal. You buy 3 soaps and you get 3 soaps for free. It's a $28 off total savings. It's $4 a bar. This is for new customers only. There's free shipping. Featured products are Cool Fresh Aloe Soap, Pine Tar Soap, Fresh Fall Soap, Bay Rum Soap, Wood Barrel Bourbon Soap, Birchwood Breeze Soap, and One-Time Soap Saver. Don't know what that is. They sent it to me yesterday, got it in the mail, and they smell delicious. I used one of them. I don't like when it leaves a film, and I'm happy to say it didn't leave a film. It's all natural product, 98% natural, B Corp certified, no harmful ingredients. They'll have you look, feeling, smelling your best. It's just you smell good. You feel, how some soaps you're like, did I remember to soap? And you can't remember. And now is as good a time as any to remind you of my soap policy in the shower. No legs. Guys, what I do and what I've done since my first shower is I lather here, I lather here, I lather here, and I let it trickle down. It's the voodoo soaping, I call it. It's like voodoo economics where I trickle down to this is the wealthy part of my body, and I let it trickle down to the poor parts of my body, the legs. Again, I had a good time using the soap, and I got 6 bars myself, and I intend to use them all. This offer can only be accessed through using my unique link, drsquatch.com/NEAL. It can't be found by going to the website normally, only through drsquatch.com/NEAL. It's a legit good deal. If you want to go through the other website to see that it's a good deal, or you can take my word for it, because I don't lie on here very much. Here's the soap. Actually, you know what? Let's just do the upper body. They all smell good. I went with one of them. I won't say why I went with one of them, but I went with whatever. I'm going to work through all of them. Trust, honey. Perfect holiday gift, stocking stuffer, treat yourself purchase, drsquatch.com/NEAL. Clean yourself, but only the rich parts of your body. The upper body is like Park Place and Boardwalk, and the rest are like Baltic. You don't like patterns on clothing.
I fucking hate it. I hate it.
What?
Like the one I can do is...
Can you mind touching?
The one I can do is flannel. I can do a flannel. You know what I mean? And even then, it's very seldom. It's like, let me throw this on real quick. I won't wear it on stage. It's like, I have flannels.
To the touch? Or just the visual
pattern visuals? You know what I mean? Like if you were to wear it, I'd be like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like this, I love this.
You're welcome.
This is what I love. You know what I mean? Like
everybody loved it.
Yeah,
it's one of the best shirts in my whole fleet.
Yeah, but
Japanese.
Patterns on a sock. I'm pretty sure you got that. Yep. Oh no,
that's an ayahuasca.
Okay, then that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Thank you.
But if that was on your sock, you'd be like, fuck, man, put on some socks.
That sounds a little Asperger's-y.
Is it?
A little bit. Asperger's people don't like fabrics.
I like fabric. I don't like a pattern on a fabric. I just don't like it. Like when I'm looking at you, the only thing I want to look at is your face. I don't want to be drawn to like Biggie Smalls on your chest and then a quote. It's like, ugh. It's dope. Don't get me wrong, but it's like when it's on me, like it's like, look, this is on my chest.
That's a whole other issue, which is like the corniness of like, huh?
Yeah, but anything though, whether it's a Miller logo or
I totally agree.
A Nike swoosh. It's like
swoosh, I don't mind.
I don't mind too, as long as it's
How do you feel about
small.
LA logos?
I love LA logos.
Yeah, no, you're wearing one.
I know, but you're not getting what I'm saying. Like
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Overbearing logos.
Yeah, it's aggravating.
Pattern. It's
not taste. It like is sensory.
Yeah.
You don't like. It does something to you.
Yeah.
What about this behind you? That green stuff.
Now, if these were circles, I'd be pissed.
Why?
I don't like circles. It's got to be straight lines.
I'm gonna go and give you a mild diagnosis. I'm gonna write down on my
don't
script
do this.
pad.
You're not certified.
You have mild Asperger's. I got tested for it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I got tested for it. The lowest score you can get and have it is 26. I think it's out of 50.
Yeah.
26. So I guess I have it. If I answered, by the way, you're laughing at an Asperger's diagnosis.
You got it.
I got congratulations. Thank you. Drop the confetti.
And here's another thing with me. I don't know what this is. I have to add numbers. So like right when you said 26, I said 8. I go, that's a good number.
Why 8?
Because 2 + 6 is 8. And I love 8.
Okay.
And 8 is like my life path number.
Again, you have it.
Just
based on what you
have
do.
it.
Yes.
You
and
have
I'm giving it to you.
You're certified.
I'm allowed to give it to one person per week. And
They give you that?
Yes. That's part of the Asperger's creed.
Coalition.
Yes. You said you're addicted to shopping.
Yeah.
Talk to me. I believe that because I always hear stories about you at the mall, even though maybe it's just one story of you and Bert Kreischer at the mall.
I have 10 of these. I'll shut them all down. I have. You can go to my closet right now and see expensive things with price tags hanging on them.
You've never worn them?
Nope.
Do you return stuff?
No.
Why not?
I'll give it away. I just gave an expensive jacket away right now, just before I got here.
How much?
It was a Saint Laurent jacket. It was a pattern, but it was a flannel pattern, which I don't mind.
Why did you fall into it?
I don't, like I said, I don't mind a flannel pattern, and I'll wear it very randomly.
Okay.
And I wore it today, and she complimented, and I gave it to her because I'm like, yeah, I'll get rid of this. I won't wear it for another 3 years. And that was an expensive jacket. I don't think she understands how much I spent on that jacket. It was a Saint Laurent.
She'll look it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The minute
Somebody will tell her.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the minute
Did it fit her?
Huh?
How big was she?
Tiny. And she's, she's a friend, and they're all. I love that whole crew over there. And
Where's there? Radio?
Yeah, it's radio.
Yeah.
Woody show.
Got it.
And and she's always been there for it. She's the producer over there. So yeah, I was like, it was a gift.
Great.
But I'd rather give it away than return it. So if it's not my size, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. You want this? And I'll give it to somebody.
Okay. So you grew up poor.
Yeah, broke.
And you were broke until you were 48, 30 something?
I think I started making really nice money around 30, around 36.
And
then I was like super comfortable.
So you don't worry about overspending?
No, I don't care.
Like, how do you don't worry about going broke? I mean, you're doing
no, because I put my money in the right spot.
Okay.
My son is financially, and his kids will be well taken care of.
What about their kid? I'm kidding.
Huh?
Yeah, but where does it end, Joe? If you didn't buy these jackets, you could fourth generation.
No, I was so smart with my money that everyone's good. Now I can have fun.
You can really pop it off and be a moron.
Yeah, and I don't care, and I deserve it.
Okay, let's talk about that.
I do.
Do you especially deserve it? Because whenever people say if something good happens, they go, "You deserve it." I always think I don't know if anyone deserves anything.
Yeah, you do.
Explain
you deserve
that.
whatever you want. Life is all about rewards, right? You accomplish something, you should celebrate that. And it's like, how do you celebrate it? It's like people have different vices. You know what I mean? Like I can add up one of my friends' weed expense and you'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's got to have it.
Yeah.
And we're not talking one joint. We're talking like you can start a small store and it's like, add that up. And it's expensive.
Would you? Okay. What I'm saying is, does he deserve it?
But that's his vice.
Okay.
And that's what he likes.
Okay.
And we're individuals. So it's like, what makes you happy? And it's like, I know you have a vice. There's something that makes you happy. And don't do that. Don't do the whole, don't do that. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that.
I'm making a hilarious. Guys, go on YouTube. Watch the face I'm making around.
I'm not even.
Great.
I'm not. That's
do I have a
you're
vice?
A character right now. You're being a character.
Go ahead.
No, we all do. And I love it. And there's things that I always dreamt about, and now I can make it happen, and I'm going to make it happen.
And does it feel as good as you thought it would?
No, it does.
Okay, great.
Oh, it feels so good.
Great.
For me.
No, that's
probably not for you,
good.
but for me.
No, but that's good because I don't. I grew up like Catholic and one of 10, and like my parents are from the Depression, and they hoarding, and you don't. It's like saving and all that stuff. So I have so much of that in me.
You're very clean, aren't you? At home, is your house clean?
Not especially. I mean, I have a.
Do you have hoarding issues?
I like the environment, so I try not to buy too much shit because I don't want to just make more.
Yeah.
Like I don't do merch.
But
me and Ronnie Chang talked about this. I don't do merch because I don't want to be like, it's just going to end up in a landfill. So I just I've just watched too many documentaries.
Yeah.
So I know what happens to shit.
Yeah.
And I tend to like to do less.
You're not going to believe this. You ready?
Go.
You have Asperger's. Okay.
What?
I just figured this out.
Out of 50,
out of 50, I'm saying 26.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's 8. That's a good number.
Yeah.
So I don't have, when you're like, you have vices, I'm like, I don't have any.
You do. You're just.
I don't have money.
You're doing a character right now.
No, I don't think. I'm trying to think.
I'm being so open and genuine, and you're not.
Guess what? I'm telling. I told you I have Asperger's.
I know, but that's all you're telling us. You're not telling us.
I told you abuse.
Stop it. You're downplaying everything. I want to hear what is your vices. You can't sit here and act like you don't have vices.
Cost money.
What makes you happy? Those glasses make you happy. Did you need them?
No.
Yeah. You could have just wore stock glasses. Old style black horn rim glasses, but you
got me. I got Asperger's and I wear glasses.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this.
Just tell me. Okay. Just tell me your fucking
all right,
vice.
So,
what is your vice? Sushi on Wednesdays?
Vegan.
Me too.
Congrats.
Except for sushi. I like sushi. Is that still vegan?
No. I eat ice cream. I eat ice cream. I have a sugar day once a week.
God damn it, that's not
ton
vegan.
Of sugar. I know. I'm at least vegetarian. I'm mostly vegan.
Don't say you're vegan when you eat ice cream.
You eat fish, motherfucker.
I know, but you made me sound like I'm vegan. Like bro, you're not vegan.
You didn't like my tone?
I like your tone.
So, all right, but that's it. Look, if you can, it's like when Charles Barkley talks about gambling.
You can never break the casino.
And it's like, don't you ever go, I don't know, buddy. Like, and he says, I've lost millions of dollars. Do a black accent. He goes, I lost millions of dollars.
But I've lost $1 million, somewhere between 10 and 20. I can't get an exact number because we're going back to the 80s.
And you kind of go, all right, he's good for it.
Yeah.
So I go cool, but then my Catholic brain goes like,
I think what it is I justify it, I guess, in my head too as well.
You make a lot of money, dude. Like
but I also give a lot away.
Of course, I know of one jacket.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm shut up. There's a lot of people I send to school.
I'm sure that I don't. I'm not mad at the shopping. It's not a vice I share, but like I wish like Segura had the opposite, where he likes nice shit, and he was like, I actually am envious. Nice shit. He said, I'm envious of you, talking about me, that you don't have like the bug for buying merch.
You don't have a bug at all. Come on,
I'm like angry. I'm a very angry.
No, don't do that. I don't like that.
I love too much. I love too much.
Now you're being condescending.
I think I love too much. Guys, right? You what? Guys love the podcast. Right in. What do you think my vice is, guys? Judgment. That's a real vice.
What physical vice do you have? And stop doing this.
Too many sit-ups? I guess I'm too ripped.
Are you?
I guess I'm too ripped.
Are you ripped?
I'm more ripped than you'd think.
No, I could see it.
I'm more ripped than
now.
I
can actually see it.
I sent Schultz a topless one time. I just sent a message.
Is it pretty amazing?
Pretty nice. Yeah.
Is that from dieting or working out?
Both.
Yeah. How's your sugar?
Good. Sugar day. It's a glycemic nightmare.
Yeah, you just can't stop, huh?
Sundays are glycemic. I don't even eat dinner. I just eat sugar. So
it's an addiction, man.
Yes, but like any addiction, if you get 3 or 4 days away from it, you don't crave it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you and relationships with women real quick.
Yeah.
How are they?
That's great. You know what I mean? I'm in love with what's happening right now, and I need to.
That's an evasion if I've ever heard it.
No, it's not. I just don't want to like.
You don't want to go on the record. I got
it. There's a difference between what we do. We're so high risk, to take on this for our career choice is such a fucking risk. There's so many people that want to be in our position.
Mm-hmm.
Millions.
Come and take it.
and that's true. Come and take it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's a scary thing. I'm going to come for Neal Brennan's job. Like that's scary. And then
you better have low energy.
Yeah. And you better have a vice.
You better have low energy, and you better be able to write jokes
and
that
you
are
better
very good.
Know how to.
You can't charm them in.
Yeah.
Like this guy. My jokes have to be structurally flawless.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah. And you got to be to be this, it's got to be everything.
It's the whole body experience.
I have the whole package.
Yep.
You have a little bit of the package.
A big portion of one part of the package.
Yeah. And I have that package and then another big package next to that. And that's why
I'm going to let the comments speak for themselves.
Yeah. I love that.
You're about to get fucking flamed, bro.
I'm glad you have a good fan base.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So,
but to get into this business, you got to take a big risk. You know what I mean? And it's like this is fucking hard and scary. So yeah.
Are you of the mind that I've been doing a joke recently where it's like I realized that a lot of my relationships don't work because I'm just preoccupied with comedy.
Yeah. And that's what I'm getting
and by
at.
the way, it's supposed to be that way. I don't think I'm meant to be. I'm not Linda. There's a Linda Ronstadt quote. You remember Linda Ronstadt because you're old. So
yeah,
she said, I'm not here to be a wife. I'm here to sing.
Yeah.
Which is like.
That's the truth.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't regret any relationships I've had. But once I knew that, I was like, oh, I should stop beating myself up for not being great at relationships.
No, man. This is our relationship. This is risky, man. And we can't take there can't be that pause. We just can't pause. The minute we press pause, it's over with. We got to keep the tape running and we got to keep going. We got to stay plugged in and tapped in. The minute, and that takes a lot of emotion and a lot of stress and a lot of mental, and I can't share that. I enjoy the relationships, I really do, but it's like I feel bad because there's times where I'm gonna be like, no, I can't, and I won't have any emotional attachment to that decision.
You won't feel guilty. You're just go like, no, I have to do this.
Because if I said no to this, I would have an emotional breakdown.
Right.
And that is not, it won't be consistent with that relationship.
Has anyone accepted that?
I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because
you would know. You would know the relationships you've been in. Like, was anybody said like, I get that, and I'm happy to take second place?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
but even then, it's like it starts to wear. It starts to get tiring.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like I thought I could be. Long. Yeah, I could be second.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be this long. It's like, I don't want to stop doing this.
Yeah, and I love the relationship I'm in right now. I think it's really, really cool, and but I think we both understand. Like, I waited a long time for this, man. This is my first love.
Yeah,
it's my only love.
Yeah,
it's my mom and this.
Does your wife, your ex?
Yeah.
What is she? Have you kind of had that conversation where you were like, you know what, I maybe we shouldn't have been. I was not. You were being dishonest or misleading, but I think when we're younger, we hope we can do both, and then at a certain point, you go, I don't think I can do both.
Yeah, and that's what happened right away. And this was the best decision that we could make. Was this? I think we're the best parents in the world. And yeah, I am being biased, but it's like, I really think you can do this. I'm a product of a divorced family, and the stereotype was, I hate him and he hates her, and let's get a lawyer.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be that way. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You gotta, so I love where Angie and I are. And I get very defensive too when I date. And when they find out that, Angie and I are close, because there's nothing sexual between her and I. We're best friends. And that's the mother of my son. And better not disrespect my mother's son, because my son is the most protective person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's his mommy. So yeah, the minute I hear just any kind of tone or anything about that, it's already done. It's like, you're not going to get this.
Well, it's
you don't
silly that
this.
somebody would think. I mean, I get it.
No,
People
I still
are jealous,
get it.
But yeah, people do get jealous. But it's one of those things like,
and try and separate us.
Yeah,
I've been in those relationships, and I'm like, you really think I'm going to pick my son's mom? You over my son's mom?
Yeah. Also, are you ready to be a mom? It's silly. Yeah.
What are you talking about right now? So,
all right. Final few questions. What is the upside of your traumas and mild mental illnesses?
I think being confident came from it. I think being able to deal with it, and I can see other people with whatever they're dealing with. I know that I've had shitty things happen to me, and no one knew, and I'm proud of myself for that. Like, some fucked up shit happened 6 hours ago, and you don't even know, because I'm laughing and I'm smiling.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna get through it.
Yeah,
and I learned that from whatever it is that I had to go through.
Yeah,
I know that there's people that can't wish they could do what I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, and deal with it the way I'm dealing with it.
Yeah. That's great, because I talk so much. It's the thing I'm saying, where like we have our traumas, trophies that we polish, but it's also like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And despite that, we can be excellent at things. Anyone can. It doesn't have to. There's a term, loyal to the wound. Yeah. Where we're just constantly like, fuck it.
But here's my argument with that. And I agree with you, because you and I are wired different.
Yeah.
Not everyone's wired like that, Neal.
I'm not saying ignore it. I'm saying...
No, but you're also saying deal with it the same way you deal with it.
I'm saying
and that's kind of unfair, because not everyone can deal with shit like that. That's like saying, I don't know if you know how to skydive, but I ain't jumping out of a fucking plane. And that's how I deal with it. And there's people that would be like, come on. My sister would be like, let's go. Throw the shoe down. Teach me how to catch it. Like my sister's she loves that type of shit. And I'm not wired that way. I can't. Like I can't even, there's no fucking way I'm jumping out of a plane.
I'm with you. What I'm saying is,
but do you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's how I'm wired.
Yeah,
and people are wired different.
They are, and I'm saying you can be wired that way. Just don't get stuck in your shit.
But I'm stuck in my shit though.
No, you're not. You're wired to where you can. Something can happen 6 hours ago, and you can.
Yeah.
I see like we can all. Yeah. I don't want to. The podcast is about like people's blocks or whatever, but I want it to be hopeful in that like, and there's an upside to this.
Yeah.
There's an upside to trauma. It can make you funny. It can make you resilient. It can make you intelligent. It can make you read social situations flawlessly, because you're like, if you grew up around violence, you get real good at that, being like, you can kind of see things before they happen.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of upside to it. There's plenty of, I'm not saying ignore it. I'm saying there's upside to the negative shit.
Oh yeah.
What is your personal emotional dream for yourself?
I'm not understanding the question.
What's your dream? What is your dream scenario for your life? Are you living it?
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. I get happy every time I walk in to a venue. Like my favorite moment of my career was selling out Climate Pledge Arena, which used to be called the Seattle Coliseum, which is where I saw the Sonics playoff games. I saw Eddie Murphy Raw there. I was 15, you know what I mean? I sat, like maybe 15 rows from the stage, and then sitting in the same seats where I sat to watch Eddie with my son and looking at the stage that I'm about to walk on. And I remember telling my son, I remember sitting right here looking up at the 300 section going, I can't believe this many people are here to see this guy tell jokes. And now I'm like, these people are here to see me tell these jokes. And it's just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
It was just, that was that moment where I was like, wow. I remember sitting right here, 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
15 years old.
Life can be incredible.
It's so beautiful.
What are you proudest of in your either your personality?
I think being a dad. I think being the dad that I am. And because I think I did it the right way. And
what do you think as a dad? What was your goal for your kid?
To be himself, right? And not me try and mold him the way my mom tried to mold me and put so much pressure on me to be what she thinks I should have been. You know what I mean? Go to college and be a nurse. Everyone in the family is a nurse, and you already have a job because your aunties have this, and then me trying to be a comic and making me feel bad about it, And that was her way of, I can get you to be a nurse because you're going to die.
Yeah,
you don't have health insurance. And it's just like, fuck. Like there were so many times where I hated my mom. You know what I mean? Like I remember telling my mom at the mall one time, I was like, yo, are you not even proud of me? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like this sucks, mom. Like you don't come to any of my shows. You don't tell anybody what I do. Like this sucks. Like how am I supposed to say you're my mom? Like when you don't even want to see your son do this shit. And I never wanted my son to feel that way. And it's like, I never pressured my son. Like I know that my son doesn't like school, and I know he likes the things that he likes to do, and he's pursuing them. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm going to support. And take your time and fail. I want him to fail as many times as I did. Because that's what's going to make you better, and you're going to appreciate whatever it is that you want to do more.
So it's an emotional goal, and less of a like you need to have an apartment and
and I don't get that style of parenting. Yeah. Like my best friend in Vegas, God bless him, but it's structured, everything's structured, and it's like, and I even told him to the side, I go, bro, you're not even enjoying the childhood. Like all you're thinking about is college and blah, 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 and this and that and this, and everything's geared up. And all right, now he's got to do this and he's got to study for his test. Like, yo, fuck his test. If he fails, he'll take it again.
Yeah.
Dude, he's in his 20s. Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? And it's like,
He's on
but
his own.
he thinks different. And it's like, I get it, but I can also see that these kids are also, oh God, this is going to suck when he hears this, but I feel like they're living for him as well.
Yeah.
And not living for themselves. Oh, I can't fuck up because my dad, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't ever want my son to feel that way.
Yeah.
I want my son to be like, this is what I want to do, and I can't wait to tell my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad's gonna be right next to me. Like, let's fucking go. Oh, you don't want to do that anymore, Joe? All right, then what do you want to do? All right, well, let's fucking figure this out. Let's do this together.
And you don't worry about like spoiling him or any of that shit.
No, my son is it's crazy. He doesn't even shop. He loves it. And when I shop, he's like, do you need that? Like, it's weird to hear a teenager talk like that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? When I was a kid, if someone goes, hey, you want this? I'm like, can I get two? What do you mean one? Can I get two of them? Like my son, I'm like, Joe, you want this? No, I'm good, Dad. I'm like, what? Like, you're not consistent. This is what kids do. So yeah, it's been a blessing.
Your son turns out is a huge Neal Brennan fan. That was Blocks episode with Joe Coy, everyone. Goodbye, Joe.
I love you, man.
Yeah. Joe, I love you too.
I love you.